Hello, Panda Crew. Sorry about the background in advance. I already know it's a little bit noisy. And it's about to rain, so, we just have to deal with what we have to deal with because I only have so much time. But today's art fight, this year's art fight has ended recently. And although we have not gotten the announcement that comedy is won, I already know because we the dogs, we are on the south, like, don't play. Let's talk about this year's art fight experience. Now, last year, I made a video and it seemed to be pretty well received. I'll put it right here if you want to go back to that one. But they did have a big, issue with the competitors arguing with each other and, so on and so such. Before we get into what happened this year, let's talk about all the art attacks I've done. I feel like this has been the most consistent I've been during art fight. And although I did slip off towards the end and ended up making, maybe 3 in the last, week, I was locked in. I was making, 5 a day. I think I made 60 or something in total this whole year. Okay, I'm not. It's overscaling, but I did a whole lot. I'll show my stats right here. It says how much I've done this year, my battle stats, all that stuff. Look at that. Just look. Right. And I met a lot of new mutuals. I had a revenge chain with the same person I've had a revenge chain with last year. My mutual Shun. Check him out on TikTok. And yeah, I think I just did really good, and I could see my art improve so much. In the revenge attack, I seen one of the pictures that I did, and I'll put it side by side. And in this one, you can see it's way more soft and scrunched up and rushed. And this one, you can see it's way more clear lines and all that stuff. And I was just man, I'm T. Yeah, but there was a big difference from this year's to last year's, and it's because we had 3 teams. And I think that made it easier for comedy to win, because originally, if you put comedy and tragedy together, most people are going to pick comedy just because more bright, and it's more fun and cool looking. If you go to tragedy, it's more moody and dull. And although they're both great teams, if you add a third option into it, where there was already a big lead in the first place, the third team is going to have so much less. And that's what I feel like Mystery did. And I tried to attack Mystery, or what was it called? It was Tragedy, Comedy. It was Mystery, I think so. Or Misery, something like that. I'll put them up. But, I think I did try to attack them, but I tried to attack Tragedy more because they were on our tail for the most amount. I was more worried about, making sure they stayed below us, because I gotta stay on top. Hey, the queen. But, yeah. Now, let's talk about the real nitty-gritty. How the other teams were dogging on Team Comedy the whole damn month. We literally went in there, and the first few hours of us, of art fight happening, they accused us of cheating. Cheating? Mind you, my whole thing was, and I think I did 5 on the first day, so I was really locked in. I was doing 1 an hour. So for them to say we're cheating, it kind of felt like, why are you mad that you're not putting in the same amount of work that we're putting in? Because for you to think that we're cheating, you have to be stalking the point counter. You have to be looking at the point counter and seeing every time the point counter goes up. I will admit we had a 2-point lead for the first week. Okay, we had 2 points. That means you do a whole lot of art. At the same time, I feel like not that I'm gonna have a big sway over the thing, because a billion of us all on the same platform, but when people like me are making 5 a day for the first whole week, you saying us cheating is a slap in the face, and basically saying, oh yeah, you guys are point farming, or you guys made those in advance. No girl, I was up on my phone hunchback, scrolling, swiping on IBS Paint. Yeah, I was there. And I do think there was a scandal where there was a person that uploaded 2 before, the thing had started. So, I'm sure they'll get reported at the end of the month. I think people forget that all the reported attacks get calculated at the very end of the month. We don't know who wins Art Fight until August 16th. Why are y'all so worried that we're gonna cheat and maneuver our way? Mind you, there was 50 different people on the other 2 teams point farming. There was this one person who made a whole bunch of orange blobs, right? Or orange octopuses with no detail. The only thing that's different about all of them is the facial expression. They're This feels like cheating. I wonder why. Maybe because it is cheating. Maybe because you cheated. Not that it matters that much, because at the end of the day, it is just an art game. It's just a gifting game. But you cannot sit there and actively point farm, and then act like you're not point farming. And then they made the choice to go to a mod and be like, is this technically cheating? And the mod said no. So if I make a bunch of stick figures and put faces on them and said, oh, well, technically, is that not cheating? The whole thing is to make art that represents the character that you're drawing. If every single one is an orange blob and I can't tell which one is mine in this sea of orange, you're not putting any effort into my stuff. Like, that's what be annoying me, because it's like, you're so clearly playing. You're like finding a loophole to get what you want, but you know good and damn well you're not putting no actual effort into that stuff. That's one thing I can't stand. If you're gonna do a mass attack, cool. If you're gonna put in a lazy attack that doesn't really count, and you know you're just doing it for the sake of saying, oh, I technically did this, you know what, fine, that's cool. But at least put effort into it looking like the character. At least put like a wig on him and say, oh, it's you as an orange blob. You just put a face on it. That stuff pisses me off. But to get back to the thing, it's not about winning, even though it is about winning. I'm counting the points. Yeah, I'm real competitive. Some of y'all are not honoring the game by having fun about it. You guys spent the whole art fight cussing us out, accusing us of cheating, doing this and this and that. And then at the end of the week, when y'all were not doing anything, you're like, why did it feel like nobody was doing Artfight anymore? Maybe because y'all weren't doing Artfight. You were on there attacking other people. It was so crazy. It's like, I'm gonna try and add as many references and all the replies and stuff that I can in this video. But those people were driving me up the wall. Now, to get back to the good side of things, I got a lot of amazing art. I saw a lot of new beginner artists, a lot of very intermediate artists. I saw a lot of exceptional artists that did my art. Thank you to Shun, once again, my favorite mutual. You're amazing. Thank you for the art. She was the first, or I really don't know their pronouns. They don't post it a lot, but they were the first one to do art of Serena since I uploaded her on Artfight, and it was very nice to see that, because a lot of people were doing Erma, or they were doing Daystar, which I loved. They were amazing, they were beautiful, but I did want these people to do my new characters, and I was just so glad to see that. So yeah, sorry I couldn't really get to depth about Artfight, but I loved it. You guys said it was very boring, but you guys kind of like regurgitate the same things over and over every single Artfight, and saying that, oh, Artfight felt so boring today. Artfight felt so mainstream because all the TikTok people were on it. Oh, da-da-da-da. You guys have to make it what you want it to make. You know, like, you can't go on Animal Crossing and say, oh, it's boring. You have to make it fun for yourself. You know, you have to build up around it. You have to make your characters nice. You have to draw the people's art. You gotta reply to people. You have to do revenges. You have to post your art on the internet. You have to share, you know, your platform. That's the whole thing of Artfight, and I was personally really glad to be a part of it this year. Second year in a row, hopefully winning, to be announced. Third year in general. Can't wait for next year. Follow me on TikTok, you're in the Panda, and also Twitch. I haven't started Twitch stream a lot. Sorry for stuttering a lot. But yeah, don't have a lot of time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. We're almost at 1,000. Yay! And I will see you guys in the next one. Animation soon. Bye.